Welcome everybody, Reload here, and this is the Exploration Character Series. In this episode, I'm gonna go into low sec. New players generally avoid low sec because it's not really a safe place, but as long as you exercise certain caution, it is not that bad there. So in this episode, I'm gonna show you how to work around low sec in Exploration Frigate. Typically, the exploration rewards are much better in low sec compared to high sec. So as long as you have your skills trained up and you saved up enough ISK in case your ship gets destroyed, I suggest you go in low sec right away. There is no need to delay. But definitely beware, do not fly that which you can't afford to lose. Now let's take a look at the fit that I'll be using this time in low sec. There's not much difference compared to what I've shown you in the previous episodes, except for the fact that I've installed 2 warp core stabilizers. This is in case somebody lands on grid before I can even spot them and targets me and tries to warp scramble me. Hopefully I'll be able to get away as soon as I can. Of course, it's best to be able to get away from the side the moment you see somebody on D-scan landing next to you. But sometimes that's not really the option and you can miss a couple of seconds when the ship actually shows up on grid. Besides that, what I have installed is the scan range finding array and the scan pinpointing array. The 2 of these mods will help me scan down the tougher sites a little bit better. And also I have the 2 small gravity capacitor rigs installed. That's also to increase the strength of my probes. Everything else is the same, and you might notice that I do not have the cloaking device installed at this point in time. Even though I can fit it, I want to show you that it's possible to go ahead and fly around low sec without it if you can't have it fitted yet. So that's everything that has to do with the actual fit. Now let's see what I do when I actually go into low sec. So I'll be using this beta map, because personally I quite like it. It looks very cool. So I'm in an area next to a small low sec pocket. You can see the 3 systems right here, plus 4 more over here. So I have 7 systems to explore if need be. There's nothing particularly special about these systems. I was just in the neighborhood and went ahead to the closest low sec spots available. Before you head into low sec, I highly recommend that you check out what's going on inside those systems, because typically the gateways between high sec and low sec will be camped by somebody. Not always, but more likely than not. And one way to check what's going on the other side is to simply go into your map and take a look at statistics. Usually what I like to take a look at particularly is the number of ships destroyed in the last hour. So let's take a look at that. I can see already that 1 ship was destroyed in the system that I was going to go into, and 1 more, I think? Yeah, 1 more were destroyed in the other system. So there may be a gate camp right here, or maybe that's just somebody getting their ship destroyed. The other way you can take a look at these systems is to take a look at the escape pods destroyed in the last hour. And we can see that that one actually got a player potted. So definitely there's some sort of a pirating activity or PvP activity going on here. But not in the Online Scylla, which is good news. And also I highly recommend that you check the average pilots in space in the last 30 minutes. That'll give you an idea of how active the system is. And looks like there's 1 pilot in the system. Alright, that's not so bad. I think I'm actually going to go ahead and risk it. Hopefully there's nobody else on the other side. One other recommendation I have is that you explore areas of low sec that are quite large, not just little islands between high sec space. The systems deep in low sec typically will not have many people present in them, and best case scenario is that you're going to be the only person in local. That way you can kinda let your guard down a little bit and just keep an eye on local, not having to worry about the directional scanner, which I'll explain next. So let's go ahead, let's jump into Online Scylla, and I'll explain a few more things once I'm in low sec. Alright, I just landed on grid, went through the gate, and you can see that there's 8 people in local. That's quite populated. I don't see anybody on the directional scan, and if you never used it before, I'm going to explain it in a minute. But first thing you want to do is establish a safe spot. Now the way to do it is to warp to any planet you see. I've been here before, so I established 1 safe spot, but I'll show you just what I usually do. So I'm gonna warp to, let's say, planet 5 within 70 kilometers. Then I'm going to people and places, and just gonna be in the places tab. It's already selected. So as I'm flying to the planet, I simply add location at any point in time. It's going to be spot 2. Submit. Oh, it may have been too late. It actually may be very close to a planet. I may have to redo that. But let's take a look. So as you can see, I'm almost 22,000 kilometers away. Ideally, you want to be somewhere in deep space, but being that far away from the planet is not too bad either. And I don't want to stand in my spawn place, so I'm just going to go ahead and keep moving now, let's say towards this anomaly right here, towards the Caroline star. So once you have established a safe spot, you're pretty much safe in here unless somebody decides to scan you down. And one way to know if somebody's scanning you down is to simply look for the probes in space. This is where directional scanner comes in. Just in general, directional scanner is a very useful tool because you're able to see which ships are around you. The way I use directional scanner is that I have a hostiles tab set up in the overview. You can set up your overview any way you want, but I added a tab called hostiles, and one key aspect of it is that I have all of these ships possible selected in the game, clearly except one, which I'm going to end right now. That is the tactical destroyer. Oh yeah, must have this one. But aside from that, I also have charges selected, particularly the scanner probe. So whenever a scanner probe shows up in my scanner range, it will also pop up in my directional scanner or my overview tab. So with my D-scan, I set up my preset to hostiles. That way I can have any tab open, for example the default tab that you will find in your overview. But the directional scanner will only show you the things that I selected in the hostiles tab. So once you scan it down, right now there's nothing. But being at a safe spot, somebody will try to hunt you down and they will see you being, let's say, close to a planet, but wouldn't be able to find you. So they will start dropping probes if they have them. They're the combat probes. And that way you will know right away that somebody is trying to find you for sure. In that case, whenever you see combat scanner probes, just get out of the system or dock up or start bouncing around different safe spots. So this is your first and foremost protection, because right now we have no cloaking device, so we are open to anybody who's flying in the area. Within the 14.3 astronomical units, they'll be able to spot us on their D-scan, and if they want to, they can easily track us down. But you have to keep your D-scan open and scan every couple of seconds or so, just to be on a safe side. Now when it comes to being able to fit the cloaking device, one bonus of this equipment is that you can use the micro warp drive and cloak trick. So once you go through the gate, as I have done just now, imagine there's somebody camping the gate and you want to get away as soon as possible. So what you do is that you align to a gate that you want to go to. For example, I want to go back to Hentugaira, where I started from. So what you do is you click Align to while you're still cloaked from the gate jump. Align to, engage your micro warp drive, stop it, and then cloak up. So what this does is first and foremost lets you align fast to whatever object you're traveling to. And then it also disrupts the ability of other players to target you while you're trying to get away. Of course it's not that big of a deal considering that I have 2 warp scrambles fitted right now, but if you fly in a different ship or you need the low power slots for something else, the micro warp drive and cloak trick does the job. Aside from that little trick, once you warp to your spot you can simply cloak up, and then you don't really have to worry about all the probes that might be in the area trying to find you. But it's still a good idea to have the probes selected in one of your tabs so that you're able to monitor if somebody else is trying to scan down the side that you're at. And just keep an eye on a directional scan, it's gotta be one of the most important tools when you're out in low sec. Now when it comes to scanning and you're having trouble getting to that 100%, there's a better trick than I mentioned last time. One of my viewers suggested pressing Alt instead of Shift. That enables you to compress the probes closer to each other, giving just a little bit of boost to being able to pinpoint the exact location of the site. This is most useful at the initial stages when you simply don't have enough skills to get enough probe strength. So thank you for watching, I hope I've alleviated your fear of low sec. In the next few episodes I'm gonna travel to nullsec, explain the hacking minigame, and perhaps take a step back and explain the basics of probe scanning. In the meantime, please comment on this video if you have any questions or suggestions. As usual, please give this video a thumbs up if you liked it, and don't forget to subscribe if you'd like to see more videos like this one. Have fun exploring low-sec, but remember not to fly what you can't afford to lose. Safe flying out there!